Grant here with formathteachers.com. Thanks so much for watching this video. Today, I want to talk to you about classroom management. How do I deal with behaviors and disruptions that just aren't any fun? And never on earth do you ever wake up and hope that a student misbehaves so that you can pounce on them. Of course, as teachers, we're compassionate. We love our students. We want to honor them, and we want the best for them. But at times, we have to deal with bad behaviors for the good of the student and the good of the classroom. So, the way that I do that, the way that I handle that, is first and foremost, I have to be consistent. From day one, I have to be consistent. One of the things that I think is helpful to new teachers especially is the idea that you can always get easier. It's a lot more difficult to get harder on students. It's just, if you start out easy and buddy-buddy, it's really, really difficult to clamp things down. However, if you start high, with high expectations, with expectations that students know that you mean, that you consistently apply, that you might have to sacrifice some of the buddy-buddy up front, man, it's a lot easier to get easier. It's a lot more difficult to get harder on kids. So keep that in mind. In addition to that, dealing with poor behaviors. We utilize at my district a thing called the focus room and the focus seat. What that means is, depending on what a student does, they're either sent to a new spot in the classroom or outside of the classroom to a designated area. For us, I teach 8th grade math currently. This is what that looks like. A student gets one warning. I am very quick to give a warning when a student is disrupting class, speaking out, doing something that they shouldn't be doing. I say, Johnny, hey, that's a warning. And I make sure at the beginning of class, on the first day when I'm going through my classroom procedures, I tell them, hey, when you get a warning, you're not in trouble. It's just me giving you a friendly reminder that the next time I do have to give you a warning, it will result in consequences. But you're not in trouble when you get a warning. So I make sure that's very, very plain when I go through the procedures. But anyway, I'll say, hey, Johnny, that's a warning. And I move on with my class. That's it. That's real quick. I dealt with it. I was consistent. Oh, hey, Maria, that's a warning. If I have to come back to Johnny or Maria again, I say, hey, Johnny, that's a focus seat. Go ahead and move over to the focus seat. Or Maria, need you go to the focus seat, and then I just carry on. They know, my students know that in my classroom procedures, if they were to talk again, even on their way to the focus seat, they know then that is an immediate trip to the buddy room or the focus room. Depends on the day. We sometimes call it the buddy room or the focus room. The focus room is a place that is designated for the students to go to once they've messed up again in the classroom. They've been moved to the focus seat, and now they move to the focus room. For us, that is the 5th grade. So now they have to walk down the hallway and go to a room, knock on the door, and tell the teacher that they're here from Mr. Brown's class. That's no fun. That's not something that students typically enjoy doing, and they don't like going back to 5th grade. So that's been very effective for us in dealing with behaviors. If a student does get sent out of class, that is an email home or a phone call home. And typically, parents appreciate so much the fact that they have been told that their child has been misbehaving. And if they know that you haven't belittled them in front of class, that you know that you've been consistent, that you gave them a warning, you gave them a second chance by moving them in class, and still they were disrespectful and disruptive, being a distraction, then typically they're pretty supportive. Of course, they're not always, but doing the best that you can is very, very helpful. So again, this is how it works, and I really recommend this for your classroom, especially with middle school students. Give them a warning. Typically, the whole class takes that as, oh, he's not bluffing. Especially when you move someone, then he's really not bluffing, and they typically are pretty responsive. If you move them after the second warning, and that's not okay. So you've warned them, you move them, then you have to move them out of the classroom. When you move them out of the classroom, that is a email or phone call home. What I do is when I move them to the focus seat, I move them away from their surroundings that they're in. It's a focus seat that's in a different part of the classroom. Maybe it's up front, maybe it's in the back, however it works well for your classroom, but just away from other students to give them some time to kind of reflect. I will give them this piece of paper that's normally plastered on the desk itself. It's just taped on the desk or maybe taped on the chair. And it just goes through basically why they need to focus and why they were sent to the focus seat themselves. Gives them something to read and kind of remember, okay, this is what Mr. Brown expects and this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is why I'm here. Now, will they always read this? No, but that's something that I always place on the focus desk so that they know why it is they're there. And sometimes when you're dialoguing with students after class, maybe they're like, hey, Mr. Brown, I don't know why I was sent there. Bring them over to this thing and say, okay, read this and you tell me if any of this makes sense to you. And if not, let's talk about it. Typically, it helps kids. This is available on our website for just a minimal charge, I think 99 cents. So take a look at that and print that out if you'd like. In addition, I would like to just mention that, you know, if you send a kid out, it would be such a good idea to have a document that you can have them work through as you send them out. So if you send them out to the buddy room, the focus room, give them a sheet of paper and say, hey, fill this out. And on that sheet of paper, do what I do. I have a couple questions. Why was I sent out? How can I get better? What do I need to do to get back in the classroom? And I will not allow that student back in my classroom until they filled that out, until they've had a conversation with me. That is some of the best conversation ever. It's giving them a time to kind of settle down, not be so angry because they're gone. And when they come back in and dialogue with me, man, so much better. So again, use this as a way to plaster this on your focus seat. And if they have to send someone to the focus room, give them like an exit slip of sorts. In fact, I have one of these, and I'll go ahead and link to it down below, and you can purchase that at a minimal cost if you would like to. But even if you don't want to, just make something of your own. Make it what they did wrong, what they should have been doing, ways that they can improve, ways that they wish the class would have gone. Think through questions of how can I dialogue about this with the student when they come back? And make them do that with you before you let them enter your classroom. If you just send them to the focus room and then the next day things are like normal, I don't think that's okay. I think we need to teach kids how to own up to mistakes, but also just how to dialogue with one another, with us. Hey, we messed up. That's okay. It happens to adults too. This is how we deal with it. We go and talk it out. It's just a great example for students. So please take a look at those two resources. I'll link to them in the video notes below. And if you have any questions, you can always get a hold of us by going to the contact page at formathteachers.com. We'd be happy to dialogue with you there. Have a blessed day. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more.